Da 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 da, making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately, I can barely find the time to sleep. Yeah, I spend my time running around, keeping people pleased. But this is my favorite holiday. It's a chance to start over new. Cause I missed you, so I'm letting go of everything but you. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da, oh, oh, la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been wrapping presents for you. I've been hanging marbles in the tree. And I've lit my house with Christmas lights. So you should come back home to me. And when we wake up in the morning, I'm gonna play those carols that you love. We'll be singing all the melodies until the sun comes up. These are the good times with you. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hang by the fire and chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, and I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, oh, la da da da, oh, 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 la da da da. Making our Christmas memories. Yeah, these are the good times.
Welcome to the warm-up show on the beautiful, thankfully, Thursday on the December 22nd, 2022. This is the co-host, Code Franchise directly for the beautiful country of Thailand, and we have to go all the way to find our co-host. Just finished his run of the Santa Claus at the downtown York Mall, Mr. ENORTAP. Welcome back.
Hello, Coach.
Are
Hello,
you
Hockey
really busy
Nation.
right now with the mall, like with the snows coming,
Absolutely.
everything like that? Are you some kind of cancellation, or what's going on?
Yeah,
You the next 2 days, where you're going to be all around the world?
we're definitely trying to get ahead of this big storm that's coming, Coach. We've been preparing. We got our reindeer that are specially equipped to remove snow, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
I can see that. So you have I heard like you have an option B, because sometimes the snow can stop you, everything like that. But I feel like you get help, and you got the truck, the driver, the trucker of Amazon. Danny is going to go be on the street, delivery the last minute the gift of different young kids around Ontario. Is this what I heard? Is it really
Absolutely.
real?
Danny's in charge of the heavily hit cities that get a lot of snow, and it's harder to move because he moves quickly with those Amazon trucks.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
sure.
Danny
For
is
sure.
right, the front runner of all the truck Amazon. at some point. I think he's already 8 tickets since the beginning of first month with Amazon. So he's right now on probation for the next couple of weeks with Amazon. But listen, we have a big show tonight. 8 game already, 1 done. Congratulations, everybody, for because it's Christmas. We give a W. You're going already with 1-0 at the beginning. We don't give you a right score, but we give you a W. So that will advantage a couple of people. But we have a few people knock the door, Mr. ENORTAP. They are the best of the best. Jarmo Vartanen from Finland is in the house.
How's it going, Jarmo?
We have Mr. Ryan Kirk back with us tonight. Ryan, thanks to be with the Hockey Nation Live show.
Our man Ryan Kirk, yes, welcome.
The moderator, Luciano Graziano, back with the hockey tonight.
How's it going, Luciano?
Let's see who is party boss tonight. Fernando Tavares back in the house. I think Fernando did not play yesterday.
No, yesterday I think he forgot to send his in. So
all right, we just want to mention that, so his name is not there. And the moderator 2, Ron with Kings 20. Good afternoon, Mr. Ron. Thanks to be with the Hockey Nation show. That Maple Leaf game snuck me out. I did not realize you had an early game today, Ron. Yeah, it was a game. At the point, matter of fact, Mr. ENORTAP, I wake up at 3 o'clock to watching the second part of the game. So I'm going to take a nap a little bit longer. Afternoon. Rick Bengal from Halifax is in the house.
Hey, Rick. Welcome aboard.
Moderator, right there in the middle of the snow, Mr. Jose Duarte is in the house.
Hello, Jose.
He said, I feel like it's minus 16 in Oklahoma currently. I'm not too southern for this coach, for this coach. Yeah, southern of Oklahoma. Great place to get there. Yeah. Oklahoma City. Ryan. About that, Quad City, everything like that. Can go a little bit more about this. Those games I've been there. You forgot my contract, correct score for the New Jersey game. Run with Kings.
Run, send me an email. And I'll check it for you.
No, you said about you forgot my correct score. I forgot to put him on the top. That's what he's talking about.
I think the exact score he's referring to.
John Mickelson in the house. Welcome back, John Mickelson. Thanks for the Hockey Nation show.
Welcome.
The right score. ENORTAP, Jose, Luciano, twice, Chicago, Peter, anything like that. Randy. So run should be another one right there, right?
I can check. I don't have my data sheet here, so I can check later.
So we're going to put his name there so that it's easy.
We'll definitely
very quick
we'll definitely put it up. Yeah.
Luciano he said 5-2. Moi Jarmo. Oh, I did forget to send the email. Here we go, Fernando, about that one over there. It's all right. Maybe it'll be better for you. Maybe you went to the jail, maybe. Who knows? You're always a good size about everything. It's coming, coach, at 1 to 3 feet. Look like it's a couple of lips happening in the USA about this. And then what, 5'7", about. And then Melissa back in the house. Melissa, she's in Michigan right now. Because I'm busy this night, not a problem. Melissa. Everybody is busy right now, Mr. ENORTAP. We already
it's Christmas.
through the people we have. Listen, we have another show tonight, another show tomorrow, and then we're going to take off a couple of days because of Christmas as hockey player. And the big news around the world is honestly, it's all about the snow everywhere. And we'll be at seeing what's happening. And Mr. Nicholas is back in the house. Nicholas, we miss you, buddy.
Welcome,
Happy holidays, Mr. Nicholas. Like we do at the beginning of the show, Mr. ENORTAP, we ask you that question. What paid your attention last night?
Before I do that, Coach, I just want to address Luciano. Just send me an email, and I will check for you. If you were 6-1, I'll check the scores. You got to realize sometimes when you see all these numbers all in one evening, sometimes you could make mistakes. So it could be a mistake I made, but I'll be more than happy to go back and check for you to see if you were 6-1. Okay, just send me an email. Yeah, in terms of last night, I think some of the games were not much of a surprise. I think we expected, for example, the Minnesota to defeat Anaheim with little trouble. Vegas disposing of Arizona to a lesser degree as well. Nashville and Chicago. For me, the surprises or the messages that were sent out, I like the fact that Edmonton really rebounded against a very solid Dallas team and came up with a solid 6-3 victory. Don't look now, but Connor McDavid is on a 14 point streak. And, as soon as I guess he found out Marner was at 23, he decided, let me see if I can break that. So just keep your eyes open for Connor McDavid because every time he's challenged this year, he's been on top of things. The other one that was I wouldn't say a surprise, but it was a convincing victory. And the only reason it was surprising to me is because Tampa Bay put in such a poor effort against the Leafs the night before that I thought they'd come back, especially after Cooper made some of the statements that he did about how poorly they played. I thought they'd really would give Detroit a much bigger battle, and they did not. Detroit, to their credit, at home, where they're usually tougher, came out on top of this 7-4. And, they really didn't look back. They had some really good contributions from, guys like Larkin. I think he had a couple of goals in that game. Perron came through big for them. I think even Rasmussen may have had a couple of goals in that game too, if I'm not mistaken.
Two
So,
two.
and Husso was very solid as well. So credit to Detroit because they were on a losing streak, and it looked like they were pretty much out of the equation, and they're making themselves relevant. But the game, I think that again didn't shock me because you knew New Jersey had to at some point come out of that streak. I just thought it would go one more game before they would win because I thought Florida being at home and knowing how badly and desperately they needed the 2 points, I thought that Florida would win this game. But I'm starting to believe now that Florida, they are what their record is showing. They're a mediocre team. Looks like we're going to get Montreal has their first round pick this year, so it looks like we're going to get a much higher pick than we initially anticipated. And from Florida's perspective, they're in a pickle, and it's a very difficult situation to be in because I don't know how Barry Zito addresses this problem, Coach. He's got very little assets to work with. And by that, I mean, he doesn't have many draft picks left, first round picks. He doesn't have that many prospects. The good players that he has, obviously, he's not going to trade away. And some of them have signed long term contracts anyway. So he's in a very, very delicate situation. I don't know if he can do anything this year, even at trade deadline time. I just don't see Florida getting much better than what they're showing. Maybe a little bit worse, even.
Yeah, absolutely. About for Florida, you think about this. I think there's limited about the gesture or the what they can improve that team of Slay for the next couple of weeks. That's for me. I just talked before we start the show. This is over for Florida. This is the game where they should not lose yesterday. They want to stay in the race. And now you
Absolutely.
can come back and understand, but not the way they play, not the way they respond. Again, a team already have no answer. A team struggled for the last 6 games. A team they play back-to-back game, and they don't get more like the pace of the game. And it was just not there. At the end of the day, they did not play very well, the Panthers. And, it's just a bad situation at the Florida right now, and will be interesting. Now, Luciano asked if Paul Maurici, they're not going to fire the coach and Florida. It's not a
No.
coach problem right now. It's just they don't have defensemen. If you look about this, The only time they have to win Mr. Notap is they have to have performance of the goaltender. If they don't have no performance of the goaltender, they're going to struggle. They can score. They just cannot
Keep the
stop the
puck
puck.
out. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a big problem with that part there. We have Mikhail Katrianek is in the house. Welcome for the first time at the Hockey National Show. Thanks to be with the Hockey National Show. Not sure
Welcome,
the game
Mikhail.
plan is, but Dominic down destroy the boy. Smart to love see him in Montreal jersey, but need to say what they want with Sarkovsky. About this is a great question. We're going to talk about this. Ron, do you think Ovechkin score is 8-1 tonight? Will be another possibility, Nate. Yamo Safler, Nate Barkov is when I win anything. Yep. You have a start. The one the work I mean, let them play. You have start the ending that enough the one the work in Amia. And then you have RJ Calabo is in the house with Danny T is in the house. Welcome back for that one.
Welcome, guys.
Sarcastic, yes, but it's some to be some of the reality, I'm afraid. Well, I think, Michael, for Sarkozy, it's like anything, just take a time. And nobody remember that one, Mr. Natapa. Seven Stankos, the first 15 game in NHL, play under 7 minutes under Barry Melrose. Oh, yeah, he scored 23 goals, I understand. And I'm not comparing Stankov with Sarkozy. My point of view is like, take a time. Sarkozy play third line right now. If he have more time, Michael, he play there. But Sarkozy struggled the last two games with the Montreal Canadiens. And I make a video yesterday, Mr. Natap, about Sarkozy. And that was my video of the day. Is Sarkozy been head hunting? What? Yes, you can see Sarkozy now down because the words in NHL, Mr. Natap, now it's all around the NHL. Hit Sarkozy because he's put himself on the bad situation. He put his head down, and you don't see Ryan Reeves right now. We don't see Mikko Wynn. We see one of the smallest defensemen in NHL. Never hit anybody in NHL, and he almost destroyed Sarkozy from the Arizona defenseman 2 days ago or 3 days ago. And this now is going to be a word around. For the safety of the kid, is it better American Hockey League? Is it better to keep in a World Junior Championship? Or maybe not dress him up and let him play the practice, the teaching him, showing video? I don't know. But we don't want him to get hurt. We don't want him to have concussion. And I can go all the way like that. But it's really my concern about Sarkozy, Mr. Natap.
Yeah, I understand that, Coach, and I saw the video you made about that, and that particular part really caught my eye of your video. The dilemma is this: you send him down. The problem is really Slafkovsky here, in the sense that he has to be more careful to keep his head up when he's skating up the ice and when he's getting in situations that are areas where you can be targeted. He's been hit fairly hard about 5 or 6 times, I think, so far this year. But these have to be learning moments for him, and he has to understand that, and hopefully he doesn't get injured from it. Now, by bringing him down to the minors doesn't necessarily guarantee that this is not going to happen. If anything, I think it puts a bigger bullseye on his back, because these are all players that know that he's a number 1 overall pick, and they're going to target him no matter who it is, what team, what player in the minors. They're going to target him. At least in the NHL, they'll do it at select times. And so I think he can learn more here, and he can develop a little bit better here. And I think also that's, even though somebody like Jack Eye has stepped up after situations like that, I think the team collectively has to start doing that. You even put your glove in his face, and you're going to have to contend with other people that are on the ice at that time. And so that'll give players, that choice, that confusion in their head about wanting to hit Slafkovsky, and they won't take that because they know what's coming up afterwards. So I think that he has to learn, and he has to learn here.
Yeah, for me, is like maybe don't have to be. You have to be careful because you don't want to lose at 18 years old with concussion, and then you lose for the rest of his career, everything like that. And he's going to be. It's just for me. It's not about only the head up. It's like the extra move. You look about the Marco Rossi. He tried to push the puck deep zone with no awareness. That's my biggest concern for him
Yes.
is awareness around him. Read the other players and to see the take. I know I coach a lot, and I always said take a picture, take a picture, take a picture. I take the pictures to see where are they, you players and the opponent players, and that's something you need to learn. And it's been and unfortunately when you tall, you big at young age, um, you Mario Lemieux, your head is over everybody. It's easier. You don't get hit. You don't learn to get hit. And then you go the higher level. It's not in Slovakia, he hit a lot. When you play on the TPS team, it's not a league where they hit a lot in Finland. And now the reality is hitting right now him. Is everybody is the same size like him and maybe more stronger. And that's the reason happening for him. It just opened the door here to talk about that situation. I don't have no, like I said in my video, I don't have the answer. I just opened the
Yeah.
door about what you
Yeah.
think would be the best for Sapkowski.
No, you're right. You're right. And I don't know if there is a right answer, to be honest with you. I mean, you can bet one way or the other, and it all goes awry depending on what he does. But I think he has to be the one that takes the initiative of doing the little things right, always looking around him, making sure that he's not in positions where he's going to get himself into a lot of trouble. And he's
Do
also a
you
big
send him in
boy.
the World Junior Championship?
If you asked me about a week ago or a week and a half ago, I would have said no. Um, but now I'm starting to think maybe it might service him a little bit better to go, um, and just sort of build his confidence a little bit more, um, and you're not gonna get the same targeting as he's getting right here at the World Juniors. So maybe, yeah, I would probably lean more towards yes today.
Yep. I would do the same thing for me, more for two things. First, the TOI is going to get more minutes. It's going to be really at 20 minutes per game as they will get play. I mean, his confidence. And thirdly, to be with his friends, where it's about his family. Where the time the holidays, you missing maybe his parents in town. I understand that. But I think for me, they'll be all put together. I think he should go there. So, he's going to be tired with Matois. He just has to scratch a
Yeah.
couple of games if you feel like he's going to be tired. And I don't think so. I think for him, it would be good to play against Shane Wright, everybody. It's not about winning game for the Slovakia, but be bad. I have the same kind of situation. I'm in Thailand right now. We don't have no lights tree here. We don't feel the Christmas. It's like really strange here what's going on. But point is, I'm not like you missing where you're coming from. I think for him, after a couple of months in NHL, try to figure out what's going on, to try to understand. It's a lot of work. I think for him it would be a refreshing. It remind me one thing. Everybody never talk about this a lot, but one Cole Caulfield visit Wisconsin Badger with Joel Armia last year during the COVID, and they have to stuck in USA for 5 days to 7 days, whatever it was, the number of days. What he did, they decide to come back at the Badger, visit the coach Granado, his player, practice with them, everything like that, and since that the Cole Caulfield we know now. So it turned around to become better trip for him. I don't know it'll be the same thing with Sapkowski, but I think for me it'll be a good time for him to go to the World Junior Championship. About that one. There, we have a question from Nicholas. Nicholas said, "Do any of you got any idea of why Doc is not play center more now? One money in, no injury is turned to me."
Yeah, I personally, we've talked about this before. I personally would try to go the rest of the season with him at center and try him out there before you start flip flopping him back and forth from wing to center. You have to see what you drive. Not you traded for him to be your centerman. He has the size, he has the skill, he has all the tools, right? He needs to just, he needs obviously to have the right wingers with him, which, on that line, obviously he does. But he needs the confidence as well, and he's getting to that stage. He's been playing. I thought last night he had a very good game against Colorado. He played extremely well in my eyes. I think that Suzuki and Caulfield were a little bit more invisible yesterday, and were not back checking as much as they should have. But I thought Doc was very good. I thought Jake Allen was very good, kept them in that game. The defense was good too. But going back to Doc, yeah, I think keep him at center right now. Play out the year. What's the rush if it doesn't go well? You can always put him on the wing next year. Even if we don't get the points this year, it's still a victory in other ways.
Yeah, I think that you have two reasons for me. Two things right now. They don't have anybody can play with Caulfield Suzuki. So they use Kirby Doc. That's the only thing they do that. That's the one thing about this. Why? Because they've been pretty good since the beginning of the season. Now they are not doing well the last couple of games, but you want to try to win the game. So you try as a coach to put everything you have to put a chance to the team win. The second thing
Yeah.
is maybe the little bit the the inclusion or a little bit the Jonathan Drouin as a center play better what our expectation was with him, and that opened up them a chance to put him right now on the second line and play with Anderson and Sarkowski, where you can, So for me, that's the two things I believe now Kirby Doc is at that right now. When you go to have all those kind of chance, Manen out, that enough out, and all the at around at February, I think now you're going to see a possibility Doc coming back and the center, or when the Montreal going to feel they are completely at the out and everything they're thinking now is maybe a rebuild thinking to do for the last 30 game of the year, thinking for next year to reevaluate everybody who is going to be back, blah blah blah. I think that will be the time for Doc to come back as a center. That's my
Yeah, definitely,
understanding.
definitely a possibility. Yeah.
We welcome back Chicago Bear. Thanks to be with us. We have Joseph Laham. Welcome back. You nailed it about your Devils yesterday. Congratulations. John Nicholson is in the house. Thanks so much to be with the Hockey Nation Live Show. RJ gave us some information about the game canceled. Rick Kane is in the house. Welcome back with us. He should with the Mississauga Steadhead. I don't think so. For me, Sarkowski should be in the OHL junior. I think it's too lower for him. I
Yeah.
think it will not be serve him every time that, but I would give him an American Hockey League if they have to get there. I'm a hockey player. If coach bench me, my straight thought are I'm not good enough. But my confidence when him. It depends. When you said that, Michael, when they bench you, if they have a reason behind that, I think it's a great relationship with the coach communication. I think the players should
Hmm.
not go down because of that part of there. Again, it's all about the relationship about this one over there. So that's what would be my
And St.
point
Louis
about
has
this.
been like that, eh? He's been very communicative and very upright with all his players, and told them exactly what he wants to see. So the fact that he's starting to bench him means he's making either the same mistake over and over and over again, and he needs to think about that, and see that there's a consequence for not following through with what they're trying to emphasize. Let's
Yep.
learn from this.
Absolutely about this. We have William McClary knock the door. Welcome back. Jeffrey Coury is in the house. Welcome.
Welcome,
Marco, let's
Jeffrey.
talk about the power play. Yep, the power play is not very good. I make a video about this yesterday. I was watching Corrado pass it around for 10 minutes before the goal. Review game. You said Jake Allen unbelievable. On the road is amazing so far. Kirby Doc, maybe he was the best player on the ice yesterday for the Montreal Canadiens. Jonathan
Oh yeah,
Drouin, a
yeah,
delivery, a good game for the Montreal
yeah.
Canadiens. More involved, better back checker, have a possibility to score at least 1 or 2 goals. It was more, and when his battle against the ball, we cannot complain about him. And then Anthony Richard scored the first goal
Yes.
in NHL Mission ENORTAP yesterday, but he was the player with the lowest TOI on the ice yesterday. So, three things we talked about already with Sarkowski, and I said that. I want to hear from you a little bit more about Alex Anthony Richard, his TOI, and his performance overall.
Well, I thought he looked quite impressive yesterday. He didn't look nervous at all. I thought that he fit in well on his line. He was involved the entire time that he was out there. His trying to think of what was his time on the ice. How many minutes did they give him? Let me check
9 minutes.
here. 9 minutes. I mean, I would have probably gone a little bit more. He had a couple of hits as well. So
He got benched after he
overall,
got the penalty and the color score.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That was the key thing, right? And up until that point, that was. I mean, he shows it that he has the tools in my eyes. I thought he looked good. It's still early. Let's see him over the course of the next 3, 4, 5 games, and see if he, like I said, if he learns from some of those mistakes, and if he continues to play the way he has so far. I was impressed.
Yeah. But now is the point where why did enough play and Richard does not play? Why Joel Armia
It's
play
it,
and then we have and what play Jake Evans and one. So in 2 games, Anthony Richard had more goal at Jake Evans and Jonathan Drouin and Joel Armia.
yeah. I mean, you can make a case here, and I've spoken about this before. We're coming up to trade deadline time soon in February. This could very well just be trying to build the players' values up.
But
Guys like
honestly,
that
Mr.
enough.
Natap, I will give you back another and put you on the hot seat. But that enough, what you can get.
Well, right now you can't get much, and that's why I think they're
But
faced
if you
with
score
the
five more
dilemma.
goals from today until February, what it
If he
will change
scores,
from 6th round pick to 2nd round pick is not going to happen. My point is like, why to stay on the that enough? Right? Why not? Is it that enough in 3 years, or is it Anthony Richard could become a Paul Biron?
yeah, I think the latter. Obviously, I don't think Dadanov has a future here. Like I'm just trying to get in his head and trying to think of what's going on here that they would continue to play him. Is it the fact that in the past he's been relatively decent with teams that he's been with? I mean, he was with Florida. He was, you could arguably say one of the best wingers that they had at that time, and produced. Like he last year with Vegas, we saw that he was probably down the stretch when Vegas was trying to make that push to get to the playoffs. Dadanoff was one of their best players. He was almost scoring, every second night, and really kept them in the race for as long as he could. And that was at the heels of a trade gone bad with that involved Ottawa, and I think it was Anaheim or somebody. Uh, he had every reason to sulk and not do anything, and yet he produced. And
But for
so
me, when
maybe part.
I try to read them, I try to understand the Montreal Canadiens. He want to develop, he want to make the young player better. But why to let play that enough? Why they let play Chris Whiteman when you can have a Baron, you
Because
can
they're not
have
going to
a
be here.
Baudin, you can have another rookie, and let them play? And why to try to keep Whiteman and try to use Tadanov or I don't want to be mean, but Jonathan Drouin in the next couple of days, Mr. Atap, so he was going to celebrate his first anniversary with 0 goal in the NHL.
No, I understand that, but you got to also realize these guys are not going to be here after the trade deadline time. They're gonna get moved one way or another, even if
I
all
don't.
you're gonna
I
get
don't
is a.
think so. I don't think so.
I think. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, Coach. All it takes is a team that needs a winger,
Okay,
that
so who
they
can get
believe
that enough?
that enough. I wouldn't be surprised if he lands in Washington.
Okay, how
He's
much you can pay him? The salary cap they are on top at $80 million.
Well, they. I think they had no. They're not above $80 million. Washington. I think they have a little bit of space to work with.
Well,
Um,
they cannot put a $5.5 million right there.
no, no, they can't. Montreal would probably have to retain some of that.
But they would do you think they would hold the money of Monahan, Drouin, or that enough? Because they cannot hold
I
the
know.
money for all three.
I know. That's true too. Yeah. It's a
So
difficult situation. Yeah.
I'm telling you right now, they cannot go nowhere with that enough. Like I don't see him. Like it could be trade, but my point is like they are before that they will try to figure out maybe better to try to trade Anderson, example, or Armia or Edmondson, and then that and Drouin and Monahan. The other five players I believe could have a move, but that enough. I don't see that move. Anyhow,
I think they'll find a way. I think they will find a way. Um, I just don't think I really can't conceive them being here beyond February.
yeah. We're going to say a lot of people in the chat. We're almost it. We did not go too much about what we have. I have a lot of things to talk about. Again, I'm going to be stuck right there. Looking for the goalie, Wolf Elavar. That's a subject. We won't talk about this. I completely disagree with the people. Talk about this as a story for the day. And Toronto lost Ramis Sandin on the ER. Mr. Tap. He did not play today. The Nashville Predator welcome back Ren McDonald. And the Toronto welcome back Jordy Ben. About that. NHL news. Ovechkin 801 goal. I wish we had more time because I want to talk about one player nobody talk is about Malkin. 1,180 point is searching tonight as a hockey. And when he reached that level, Mr. Notap, he become the second most point to any Russian players behind Ovechkin. And I think, Mr. Notap, if Malkin did not have so many injuries, the lockout, everything like that, Malkin could be maybe one of the top best player in NHL and the history as a Russian player. Possibly be very close to Ovechkin. What are people thinking about him? Because he, honestly, he is not underrated, but he's not recognized at the level he did as a hockey player.
Totally, I totally agree with that. If health is the issue here, right? If you look at these two players, Ovechkin over time has proven to be very, very durable. Malkin, not as much, especially in the last, I'd say 10 years or so. But even earlier on in his career, there aren't too many seasons that he put together that were full seasons. And yeah, I think if he was healthy, we'd be singing a different tune here.
Yeah, absolutely about this. Double J is in the house. Welcome back in the house. A lot of people talking the site and the chat. You have a lot of great conversation. And then, yes, Pittsburgh is a surprise team. Mr. Nicholas about this one there. Two canceled game already for yesterday, possibly more. Montreal was almost canceled. Montreal was the problem.
Yeah.
They try to figure out how they can come back home between the 23rd and 23rd, 24th. We know they have on the CBA, each player have to have a minimum 3 days off during the holiday. So it looked like they already have some kind of agreement with the people at the airport to fly back. They look like they're going to go around everything like that. We know Montreal after the game yesterday. They drive back. They flew back in Denver. No, what they did, they stay in Denver because
They
they're playing.
stayed.
Yeah, and then they drive back, and now they just show up in Dallas to afternoon today. So that'll be a problem that's happening about this one over there. I want to talk about this. Unfortunately, we don't have maybe 2 minutes. The Panthers Ketchuk sore loser beginning of the end of the game. So Ketchuk, what he did at 39 seconds after Thomas Tatar scored an empty net. Now he's trying to running after Nick Urshire yesterday. Nico O'Shire. Is it a good move or a bad move? Let's call him a sore loser. Do you think it would be better for him at the beginning of the game clean up everything about O'Shire, or wait until the game is over and running after O'Shire?
Well, I think first of all, we need to make clear the fact that the reason why he did it was because of the incident in the prior game that they played where Hershire, took that deliberate cross check to the knee, I think, of Barkov. Was it?
I don't think so. It was. I don't think so. It was. It's an incident.
Yeah, it didn't look good. It didn't look good. Let's
but
leave it at
look
that.
about the history about Hershire.
True, True.
All right.
But
Then look about the unbalance of Urshire.
yeah.
So for me, if it's another name,
Well,
I would
let
say maybe I would thinking, right? But it's coming from Urshire with maybe 6 million
yeah,
penalty
but
per year. Per year, I don't think so. I
yeah,
think it's just a more a bad luck. Like Ekblad got, you remember, like he broke his leg or his ankle in the corner. Um, you
yeah.
know, for me, that's the way I see that. Now I can understand that. I can understand like the way
The
the
optics
Panthers
didn't look
react.
good.
You hit the
The op-
best player. You don't want that to happen. Like Chris Crater with Carey Price every time. I can understand that if you're a Panthers fan. I don't said I don't want to take like no blame or shower. I just for me, I I don't see that kind of the or shall go to the face off. So I'm going to cross checking the leg or back up. That's my point here.
no, I don't think it was an intentional, uh, premeditated act on Hershire's behalf. I think it just the optics did not look good. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
It could have been avoided, and I think that's what the issue was here. Now, to answer the question, you know, at the beginning or the end of the game, I mean, I would say at the beginning, but we don't know if he had or the team had special direction from the coach to say, look, we can't start getting, we need this game, we need the points, we can't start getting into penalty
yeah,
trouble right off the bat, let it go. And then when they saw that they lost the game, he still had this in mind. I'm not surprised that it would be Kachuk trying to settle the score here. I can't see anybody else really on that team, and maybe that's part of the problem of why Florida is where they are. But yeah,
yeah.
it's
Great
not
question.
something that
Great
needs to be
answer.
part of
That's
it.
the question. There's perfectly a good answer about that one. With that, you don't want to lose your best player for 5 minutes, 7 minutes at the beginning of the game when it's so important game for them. So it's a great question. It's a great answer, Mr. Nata, for sure. I have so many things to talk about. We have no time. Go to talk next time. Mr. Nata, time for the body bus. We have 3 people in the bus. It's
Let's do it.
confirmed. This channel is 6-1, Mr. Nata. So maybe make some
Is it?
correction when you go to restart. I just checking the time you was talking earlier. So he's at 6-1, Mr. Nata.
So I made a mistake, was it?
Yeah, yeah, but it's
Oh,
normal. So
I
I will have to check.
apologize, Luciano.
Now I'm going to check my score every night. Now I trust you 100, but now I have to be careful about that. Richard Mullen, Vinny, and Luciano guys on the body boss for the weekend. Congratulations for all three together. Great performance, 6-1 last night. You did better than me, of course. We're going to take only the bug again, Mr. Natal, to put someone in the jail at the Chicago 97 County Jail. And today we have to go with Vinny 007, if
Oh
I can
boy,
recall
Vinny.
it. Right?
Yes, I believe
He
so.
was
I
not the
believe
boss
so. Or
yesterday, no?
no, no, it wasn't Vinny. Was it Vinny? I'm
I don't
getting my
think so. I'm
dates
not sure
confused now.
anymore.
I thought he had a good night, Vinny.
I think so too. I tried to look about
Because
the yen is 3-4. It's King of
no, it
Gamer,
was
Mr. Natal.
yes, King of
King
Gamers,
of
I
Gamer.
think
We
was.
apologize for Vinny about that one over there. So King
As a
of
matter of
Gamer,
fact,
King of Gamer
I
is the
told him
one
I'd
go to
congratulate
the
him.
jail, and I apologize for that one over there. A lot of great chat. But a lot of people talk in the chat. Thanks so much, RJ, a real deal, and Nicholas bring a lot of good points. Thanks so much, everybody, to be a part of the show about this. But Mr. Natal, we're going to start with a 7 game. We already missed one game. Everybody got a W for Toronto. The Pittsburgh versus the Carolina Hurricane, Mr. Natal.
Okay, let's get started here, Coach. It's a tough night. Not that the other nights haven't been, but this one, to me, when I look at the teams that are playing, it's particularly difficult. I'm looking at Carolina and Pittsburgh here. They met in Carolina the first time back just recently, actually December. I think it was December 18th, around there. And the Hurricane, they skated away with a 3-2 win in that game. The teams they meet again tonight. This time it's in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh's quite motivated to seek revenge for that loss. It should be another tight game, by all standards. We got Kochetkov going up against Jari, and both have been extremely hot over the last little while, accounting also for their streaks, right? The Hurricane, they've really been terrific all season long in many regards. They're very strong on both ends of the ice, but their physicality on defense really separates them, in my eyes, from a lot of other teams in the league. Um, Carolina ranks behind only the Bruins in expected goals against per 60 minutes, and they really rely on a stingy defense to grind out wins. And like I said yesterday, as soon as they get that lead, whether it's 1-0, 2-0, whatever the case might be, you can pretty much pack your luggage and just leave, because it's rare that you're going to come back against this type of a team. Pittsburgh has been hot by their own rights as well. Uh, and I think this will be a revenge game at home. I'm going to take Pittsburgh to win 3-2.
Pittsburgh pretty too. All right. Sorry about that. I'm behind about this because I didn't put the caps. 3-2. Got it. I go with an empty net, Mr. ENORTAP. I know, I go in overtime.
Oh, overtime.
Yeah. I'm sorry
4-3.
about that.
Yeah, maybe mine overtime too. I don't know. It's that close, I think, between the two.
So they get that one over there. The big games, the biggest game in New York.
New York Island battle in New York here, right? The Rangers, they return home after that 3-2 loss to the Penguins, actually, on Tuesday. With their record that you see there and they're currently now sitting in fourth place in the Metro Division, and they're slowly starting to find the Rangers are. They're starting to find their footing again. There was a point when we were sort of doubting and saying, what, Panarin's not scoring enough, and Kreider's not scoring at the rate that he was last year. But I think really you look at Panarin, and he's produced the last 5 games. I think he's got about 6 or 7 points. So, he's been doing his job. Kreider's been scoring with a little bit more frequency. I think the big difference has been the Shesterkin's slowly starting to get back to last year's form. He's got a goals against average of 242, which is not bad at all. The Islanders, they're coming into Madison Square Gardens, not an easy place to play in. They lost on Tuesday as well, this time to Colorado. It was that 1-0 game. It was a very good game. It went back and forth for quite a while. They now are sitting in 5th place. I think if I'm not mistaken, I think just 2 points separate the two teams right now in between 3rd and 4th. So it's a critical game for both of these guys. They've been getting a lot more offensive contributions than we originally thought they would, the Islanders, and they've been led by, obviously, their usual core. But Brock Nelson he's up to, I think, 33, 34 points now for the year, which is quite good. They do have, I don't know if Adam Pelech is available tonight. I still think he's nursing an injury. So he might be out of the lineup, but we got a great goaltending matchup here between Sorokin and Shesterkin. This is going to be an overtime game in my eyes, or a possible shootout. I'm going to go with the home team and take the Rangers to win by a score of 3-2.
There we go. See, I got it for you, my friend. There's the game I said empty net. That's what I make a mistake about that earlier. That's the game I was talking about. This one over there.
Okay.
Not sure, but on that the Islanders very good, and the Garden.
In Madison Square Gardens, no, they're not. They actually have a poor record there.
Here we go. Washington
And
Capitals, Mr. ENORTAP, for the 801 goal for Ovechkin. Again, the Ottawa Senators, where they lost the last two games. They are
yeah,
6-3-1. At home, they are only 8-8-0, Mr. ENORTAP. Should be Dalbot versus Quamper, I believe, but I could be wrong.
and the pressure's off of Ovechkin a little bit. I think he plays a little bit more easygoing on the road. I mean, he plays well everywhere, of course, but I just find that when he's on the road, he tends to really be more of himself. I think he does. He does get the goal tonight. It's this is a clash between the national capitals, of U.S. and Canada here. It's the second of three meetings between them, with the third one coming up next week. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, was that one of the postponed games, Coach, or am I thinking of? I'm not sure if the Ottawa Washington game next week has been postponed. We'll have to see and check into that. Ottawa took it to Washington in the first time that they met. It was a 5-2 victory. So the Caps have a payback in mind for tonight. And it's an important game because they've worked really hard, Washington, given the kind of injuries that they've had all year long, to just stay above water. And they not only stayed above water, as they're starting to get some of their players back, but they're also right in the race. So at this point, you don't want to start regressing, and I don't think they will. I think they'll be in the chase pretty much the entire year. They've played stellar hockey over the last little while. They've won 7 of their past 8, with the loss being that 2-1 battle that they had with the Dallas Stars. The streaks also included wins against top-notch teams in the league. It's not like they had a weak schedule. There should be no issues continuing the dominance, I think, against the Senators here, who are currently sitting in last in the division on a 2-game losing streak. They've played a little bit better themselves, Ottawa, but they tend to put up some stinkers from time to time. And I think Washington goes into Ottawa tonight and defeats them by a score of 4-2.
4-2. Awesome. I think the game was canceled, Mr. ENORTAP. It was Saturday night, Ottawa.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, we had the same
I
score,
knew it
Mr.
had
ENORTAP.
Ottawa in it. Good, good. And now we have another tough game. Winnipeg, who's been playing very well. Boston, who's
Tough
at
game.
the top of their game. It's going to be a doozy. They're very similarly constructed teams when you think about it. They like to play a physical game. They have some very good, top-notch scorers on both teams. Both have excellent goaltending. Both have very good defense this year. There's very little to pick between these two teams. So maybe the home ice advantage here, going to Boston, is the deciding factor, especially since they haven't lost at home yet, at least not in regular time. So that's something to consider. Winnipeg has had. I mentioned that last week they've had the flu go through their team lately, and so they've had a couple of games that they probably should have won, but ended up losing in the end. But they still rebounded and came back and played excellent games. Both these two teams lead in goals against average and also goals for scored. They're at the top of the NHL. Their Corsi numbers are very high. I think the Bruins, they rank sixth. If I'm not, last time I checked, it was around fifth or sixth in the NHL. Winnipeg is up there as well in the top 8. This is going to be a doozy. I see this being close all the way, and then Boston's going to score in the empty net. So I'm going to take Boston by a score of 4-2.
That's great. But no, you they tried to go on empty net, Mr. Natap, but we just see right now Morrissey start the puck at the blue line. So 3-2, Mr. Natap tonight.
It's interesting. We always differ on the empty netters.
Yeah, that's the only thing about this one there. And we're
Yeah,
going to go to Vancouver, Seattle.
yeah. Vancouver and Seattle. What can I say about these guys? The Canucks they overcame the Kraken in their first matchup of the season, but that was back in October. I think we've seen quite the resurgence and the resilience of Seattle ever since then. And they find, are they in a playoff spot as of today? I believe they still are. I haven't checked the standings lately, but they're in that position, and they're a well-rounded team. Seattle is, and at this point in the season, I don't think too many of us had anticipated that they'd even be knocking on the door of a playoff spot. We're nearing the midpoint of the season. Uh, they're arguably they arguably have been one of the most impressive and surprising stories of the season. With many expected them, like I said, not to be as competitive as they are this year, but good on them that they're more balanced this year, and their defense, even though there's nobody of brand name on that defense, you have a lot of you know second pairing kind of defensemen on that team, and that's what's really doing the trick for them. And offensively, they're getting contributions to the effect that it's keeping them either in games or winning games. No, they've shown that they can play tight games. They've shown that they can play, high scoring games with teams. So that's going to be a tough recipe for the Canucks to overcome tonight. They ranked right now 25th or worse in all the important categories of goals for, goals against. Vancouver does. So that doesn't work for in their favor. Um, I think Elias Peterson might still be out for
Out,
tonight's game.
out.
He's out, so that doesn't bode well for them either. I'm going to go with Seattle to win on the road by a score of 4-2.
4-2. All right. It's M&M game tonight. Martin versus Jones. Martin Jones. 4-2. I don't know. 5-4, Mr. Natap.
A little bit higher score, yeah.
Yeah. Calgary Kings.
Oh boy, Calgary and LA. The Flames, they travel to LA for this game, obviously, to take on the Kings. This is, I believe, it is the second time that they've played this year. Calgary has had its struggles on the road this year, but they've won 2 games in a row and are looking to extend that streak. So there's a little bit of positivity starting to kick in. Markstrom hasn't been as bad as he was in earlier games in the season, even though Vladar is probably played better. And I think it is, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be Vladar against Copley tonight.
Yes.
Yes, okay, so that'll be interesting because Copley's really been the story for LA that's kept them from dropping too far down in the standings. He's been a phenomenal story. Hopefully, he can keep that up. He's 5-1 on the season. He's got I think a 915, I want to say, save percentage. As well. He's really been the reason that they've stuck around. I think being at home will definitely help LA. Calgary, I believe, are they on a back-to-back as well tonight? Yeah, they
I don't
played
think
last
so.
night, didn't they? Oh no, okay. So I'm going to take LA anyways by a score of 4-3.
Overtime or not?
No,
No overtime. Okay.
no overtime.
I go in overtime. That was my question to you.
And it takes us to
There
the
they are
last game
back
of
to
the
back
night.
game.
Yes, yes, Minnesota definitely played. They didn't have a hard time, and they haven't had to. They didn't have to have. They didn't have to travel very far, so that's something to keep in mind as you're looking to point in one direction or another. Here, the Wild are a team that's recently has been surging a lot more. The Sharks continue to be bottom feeders, as we know. They're just 10 wins so far this season. They've lost 3 in a row. The most recent 2 were both at home, and both came by the hand of the Calgary Flames. So, uh, maybe that's Calgary's secret. They should be playing San Jose a lot more often. Um, Minnesota. I'm still not drinking their Kool-Aid. I'll be honest with you. I still think that they have to address a couple of problems on their team, but they've been much better, and I think that they definitely have the offensive power to play with anybody in the league. Defensively, I'm not 100% convinced. Goaltender wise, there has been improvement in that area, but it depends on the night. And tonight, I think, let me
Gustafson.
see here. Gustafson against Kakkonen, I
Yep.
believe. I don't think it's Reimer. So I'm going to take Minnesota to win this one, but it might be close. The fact that they played on back to back, I'm going to go Minnesota 4-3.
4-3 about that one there. That's good. Again, an empty net, Mr. Natap.
Okay.
Thomas Hurdle is out, Mr. Natap. 6W for the Minnesota Wild. And that's conclude, guys. All the game we have. We'll be back tomorrow night, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
And we're almost at the end. We passed the time, Mr. Natap. A very 30-second. What are you looking for tonight on the program? Which game or what you pay a little bit more attention? Maybe Ovechkin. Who knows?
Well, of course, Ovechkin. We're almost we're interested every night because it's part of history that's in the making. But the battle in New York, the battle between Carolina and Pittsburgh will be big, and Winnipeg and Boston.
Great program on NHL. Tie game for sure. We'll be back in the next couple of minutes to do the game between Pittsburgh and Carolina Hurricane, Mr. Natap, at the Hockey Nation Show. But before we leave, we want to tell you one more thing.
You are awesome. You are amazing. You are the best. And remember, you have greatness inside of you.
You did it again, Mr. Natap. Another warm-up show complete. Everybody, we wish you good luck. The jail or the boss, we're going to see this at the end of the night. But until then, my friend, we wish you happy holidays, everybody. Merry Christmas. Be safe during this big storm. We're going to hit each one of you. I'm going to be at the
Stay
beach,
safe,
but this is another story for another time, Mr. Natap. Until then, enjoy your ride with your friends on the Santa Claus the next couple of days, and then Danny still stick and the Matarin parking lot with his Amazon truck right now hitting some shrimp and the inside behind. Maybe he's behind hiding in the side of the Amazon. Until then, my friend, be well, be out. Finally, not only dominate your day, finally with the next second apple. What?
You're 2022.
He did it again. Have an amazing, great night, Mr. Natap. Thank you again to be with us tonight.
Good night, Hockey Nation. Good night, Coach.